party. Um, how are you guys doing? All good? Hello, Dora. Hello, Mo, Renee. All good? Awesome, awesome. Why are you guys excited about learning in this workshop? This is the product management workshop, so it's really going to be really interesting. Anybody, looking for, good morning, Sophia. Anybody looking for PM roles in the near future, maybe? Oh, maybe it's because my microphone sucks from my camera. How about now, Jake? Okay, sweet. Yeah, yeah, cool, cool. I don't know, like let's do something real quick. Drop in the chat what company would you like to PM for, or what product would you like to PM for? Like for example, I would love to PM for Apple, like make one of the products. Oof, amazing. That would be like my dream job. How about you people? Google? Good, good, good choice. Fair enough. Blockchain. Oh, I'm also a blockchain enthusiast, Sophia. Um, yeah, let's just keep it at that. Facebook, yes. Microsoft, yeah. Actually, Sam, she is a project manager in. Oh, there she is. Hi, Sam. We can't hear you. You're muted. What? Oh, okay. Anyhow, Riot Games. Okay, nice. So yeah, Sam is a PM at Microsoft, so she can give you. I believe she's going to give you a little bit of insight of how that is. Um, so so yeah, cool. Um, okay, so we already talked about PMing. How about what you? Okay, what you people? Okay, there she is. You're not gonna talk? What? Oh god. Um, sorry for the tech difficulties. So Sam, there is yeah, it is. It is math. Okay, so Sam, just so you know, um, make sure that you're not muted through Hopin. Sorry, just putting out some fires. So wait. Before you go, no, there is a mute. There is a mute button, and a mute on mute button on Hopin. Bro, I can't hear you. Lol. Um, you got this, Sam. Yes, you do, Sam. We believe in you. Let's go. 1 sec. Oh, okay. So let me just put this out here and boom. Can you guys see my screen? Oh wait. Oh lord. How about now? Well, I can read the chat. Wait. My God, so many things at the same time. Um. Oh wait. Oh God. She has having issues with her mic. Yes. So, well, I'm gonna be the one sharing the slides. Let's hope she fixes that problem soon. In the meantime, so yeah, so well, I actually, so okay, let's keep talking about tech and stuff. Um, and so okay, a lot of big companies, tech companies. Anybody interested in being a PM outside of tech? There's actually a lot of roles. I was actually an intern at Cummins. They're an engines company. I was a PM at Cummins, and it was really really fun. Really amazing company. And just so you all people know that there are PM roles. I mean, technology is in everyday's work. Company nowadays, they all are hiring like their own IT teams, which is a huge improvement from like 20 years ago or something like that. Actually, companies were outsourcing IT teams, not technology companies. Um, so, so yeah, anybody interested in PMing out of tech? Okay, so apparently not. Well, fair enough. Also, tech pays better, so you better all go to tech. Uh, anyhow, let me just skim through this real quick. Hmm, not sure why I would want to PM outside of tech. Tech just seems a little more interesting to me. Yeah, actually to me as well. I actually, I don't know, maybe if the opportunity comes, I'd rather, have another, get an opportunity in tech rather than go back to the energy industry. Even though it's a really interesting industry, um, that's the opportunity that I was presented last year, and it was 100% amazing. I don't regret it. I heard JP Morgan has wonderful opportunities. That's right. And if you want more info about that, JP Morgan is actually one of our sponsors for this hackathon. Actually, if you attended the orientate, sorry, on the screen. Okay, so actually, the father of UPE is actually right now working at JP Morgan Chase. So yeah, it's really, really, really good opportunities. So give me just 1 second. I'm just trying to get more person power here. Um, um, anyways, so I'm assuming most of you are CS students or technology students, IT, engineering, right? If not, please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I'm a computer engineering student, and it's because I prefer more a little bit the hardware stuff and working with like microcontrollers, Raspberry Pis, and those type of things, rather than design, web development, mobile development. I mean, it's just me. I am from mobile and I can hear the sound. Anyone else experiencing this problem? Can you guys hear me? Am I just talking to myself, or can you guys hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Okay, on PC I can. Okay, got it. So maybe it's a phone problem because Sam, the person that's gonna teach this workshop, also had like the same type of issues. Um, Anyhow, let me just take a look here. Sweet. So, um, 1 second. PM for Red Bull is another one. That's right. Um, so what else? What else? Where are you guys from, or where are you hacking from? I'm right now in Miami. Browser won't play audio until the user interacts with the page. To start listening to the participant, just click the notification. Gotcha. Maybe that's the problem that Samantha was getting. Tampa, UCF, Norway. Wow. How is it over there? I've never been to Norway. I'm assuming it's cold, but how is it? Tell us more about it. I got the notification before, but after clicking the notification is fine. New York City. I love New York City. Um, what do you think about PM certifications? I mean, certifications are really good. There is this kind of like a stigma out there, I would say, that people are saying, oh, you don't need a degree to go into the CS field. You don't need a certification to do this. You don't need this other thing to do that. You can actually just go ahead and learn it yourself and start working. Yes, that's true. I know a lot of people that have done it. And it's really, really brilliant people. And that's totally fine. That's the path that they were going to. But when it comes to certifications and those kind of things, I always think that in the end, that's experience that you're getting, and it looks really, really good on your resume. Now you have to put everything on a balance, and you have to say, okay, is it
Hey, can
really?
anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you finally.
Oh
Woohoo!
my
Let's go.
gosh, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me share the
And
screen.
yes. Okay. Apologies everyone, but we'll get through this quick either way. Honestly, I what I want to focus on more is your questions about the role and things like that. Apologize about not having my Wi-Fi set up. I just flew in from Miami. Sorry, from Seattle to Miami, so yeah, one quick note, right? Starting off, this here is called, it says here project management, but really what I'm going to really be talking about is product management, which there's a huge difference, I think, and you're going to hear this a lot. People use project and product interchangeably, and product is the managing of all the features of a specific app, web app, or anything, of a specific project, right? Like you are the CEO of how this feature is going to turn out, and things like that. Um, and thank you, Joseph, so much for, sorry, I'm just trying to begin, but thank you for starting off and like keeping everyone informed about the role.
No
But I just
worries.
wanted to quickly call that out. And yeah, so let me tell you guys a little bit about myself. This, by the way, this these PowerPoint slides were provided by Sabina. I forgot her last name, but yeah, she is amazing. She's another PM at Microsoft. I'll also link her information below later. But yeah, next slide, please, for me, Joseph. Cool. So we're gonna go through intro, people and product, defining the role, essentials for your project, resources and discussions. We're gonna try to make this really useful for anyone who has like you guys are all hacking right now and probably have projects, right? So making sure you guys are really focused in on what the key prioritizations are of your your project, and like what what problems you're really trying to solve for your user, right? So that's mainly what I want to help you guys do. And if you can achieve that, then maybe product management might be something for you, right? Maybe you just want to focus on the planning aspect and not so much the development aspect of creating a project. So yeah, um the next slide for me, thank you. So there's no pictures of me here, but you guys saw probably my profile picture. Um, by the way, if at any point you guys can't hear me, please let me know. By just unmuting yourself, and at any time, please interrupt, ask me questions. I honestly would like this more to be something collaborative, and just interrupt me if you're not sure about something. Um, so at FIU, I'm Samantha Fernandez. And at FIU, I basically joined UPE, and that's when my tech career really started. I joined UPE Ignite, what is known now as Ignite, and led that for 2 semesters. I was really passionate, and still am, about teaching kids about computer science and making sure that those under represented minorities and everyone in my community could get access to education, tech education specifically. So that was mainly what I focused on. And then towards the end of my career at FIU, I noticed that I really am not so as interested in software development as PMing. And I found out about PMing through other people in UP, like Carolina. Um, you might know about her. She led Spark Dev. And I realized that I wanted to be more zoomed out and of the work and wanted to think about the product end to end instead of solving algorithms day to day, right? um, and you're still solving you're still making solving problems for the user, but from a different point of view and not just programmatically. So yeah, I got into it the last semester and figured that this is for me, this is my calling. And now I'm at Microsoft. So I can definitely get back into that at the end of the presentation, though. The next slide, please. Yeah, and we'll talk about this at the end. Next slide. So leaders in product. Joseph, could you tell me a bit more about this? Like, I don't remember seeing this slide.
Yeah, so this is just
Yeah.
examples of people that then are head of product managers and come up with solutions and ideas to always innovate in the
Okay.
field.
For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought these people were okay. Gosh, these people were attending the meeting, and I was like, "What? That's impossible." But yeah. Okay.
Oh goodness. Um, Lord. Anyways, she must be having technical difficulties on her internet connection. We apologize. But in the meantime, um, see these are different people from different companies, and they are. I believe Sabina knows them. So that's why they're on the slides. Um, but there you go, like from YouTube, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. Something that we were discussing like a few minutes ago. No, Samantha, we can't hear you. I think you disconnected. Maybe if we, let me see if I can fix this. Yeah, rejoin. They must be making bank. They need for such huge companies. True. Yeah. Big tech pays really well. Give me guys 1 sec.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. I was just saying next slide. Yeah, that was all. I for some reason I got kicked out, but yeah. So that's something. See the solo like right bugging an app and things like that. That's all part of also the PM process. Like actually using your product. Let's say Hopin, right, and like if you have bad internet connection, letting everyone else know in the, that's in the meeting, like, hey, this person's having issues, right? So it doesn't seem like I'm just leaving. So that's just, it's really, that's what the role is. But yeah, I was just giving an example. Um, I did not see these, these specific slides. I was going to get straight to like like the application of what it is. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Product design. Yeah, so product manager, pretty much we do a lot of product design. So that means the first phase of creating a project, ideation. And the second thing is prioritization. It's like the biggest thing. It's like, okay, are we gonna focus on building the next app, the next big feature that Facebook's building, or are we gonna try to do what they're doing better or create our own features, things like that, which I can dive into more, as as a PM at Microsoft, specifically as a UX PM for Azure, right? um, our constant question is like, are we just gonna create whatever, like catch up with AWS, right, and create whatever they're doing, or do our own thing and try to do it, 2 times better, right? Because it always seems like we're playing catch up with them, but really we're trying to do our own thing and have be like the cloud experience of the future. So that's just an example of what I mean when I say prioritization. And customer focus is really important, right? Being obsessed with the customer, like I said, like um, knowing their pain points is really the key to coming up with great solutions. And when I say that, it means like knowing, okay, like when they open this app, like what are all the problems they run into, for instance, right? What are all the issues that I'm running into now trying to give you guys this presentation, and like going through that process and thinking through, okay, how can I fix this process and make it better, right? And at least make it more like easier for the user, to execute these functions. And then strategy and vision is just like the more, another thing, right? This is something that all CEOs should have, which is why I say like this is some, like if you become a PM, you could easily turn into a CEO in like 20 years. Not easily, right? But it's something that comes with the job naturally. And strategy and vision, right? Knowing where is your product going to go in 3 years, or like taking into account, if I build this now, is it future proof, right? So yeah, that I really wanted to hone in on that because a lot of people ask like, what is product manager, right? And this is something, this is basically what the role is, and it varies from company to company, but these four things is what they all have in common. um, so far, is there any questions? Like I really want to see where everyone's at, if anyone is wondering anything so far. Has anything come up?
Yeah, so I'm
Cool.
reading, and
Yeah.
nobody has asked anything. If they ask, I'll be sure to let you know.
Oh,
Okay?
okay, you'll let me know.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So next slide. Thank you. So in a project, right, we have to define the objective, make sure we define key success metrics and pitch it right. And this is definitely something you want to be able to do for your hackathon projects. Next slide, please.
Oh, they're asking a
Oh,
question.
yeah.
Sophia asked, "Do you feel like you need to have technical skills for this role?"
That is a great question. So it all depends on what company you would like to work for. Like, do you want to be a product manager for, Uber? Do you want to be a product manager for Spotify? Like for these apps, right? For these sort of things where you're inventing software solutions for users, right? Um, do you want to be a PM for, I don't know, like a logistical truck driving company? Like it really all depends on what you on what you really want to do, right? Like what's something you're passionate about and you want to see someone out there fix in the world, right? There's PMs for everything. There's PMs for even the people who build, like civil engineers and all those things, right? That build the streets out there. Um, so there's someone managing all these projects out there, and it's a really integral role, right? The people who build things, and then there's the people who are telling the people who build things what to do. um, So it really all depends. But let's say you want to get into Microsoft, right? Or a Facebook or an Uber or a Slack. Um, you don't have to be technical, really. You have already transferable skills. If you're already joining clubs like UPE and are involved and like are striving to take leadership roles and things like that, you're already in a good position to like position yourself for like new grad PM roles, right? As long as you shine that you have communication skills, that you've like, for instance, being at a hackathon right now, managing a project, that's already, something you could use as evidence of your PME skills, right? So we can definitely get more into that later in the like at the end, but yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's also
Continue
another
on.
question
Yeah.
from the previous slide that says, "Is there a framework or process you follow for ideation, or is it largely inspired?"
That is such a perfect question. That question I've actually asked myself. I asked all the PM managers who've been working for 25 years at Microsoft, like, what is the process you guys take? And I think the process really is you come up with ideas through the pain points of the user, right? So when you start to think, and this also applies, by the way, Caesar's gonna have um, another workshop on like acing your PM interview, which is another thing if you should be interested in attending if you find yourself inspired by this talk. But ideation, right? For instance, in the interview, you're supposed to come up with ideas on the spot for a feature, right? Okay, how would you design like a kitchen for a specific user, right? And the way you'd find that out is by asking who are these users we're designing for, and when they enter a kitchen, what are the issues they encounter, right? Okay, so they're new, like they're new users. They've never cooked before, or maybe they have disabilities. How can we make it more accessible? Um, like taking into account where they're at in life, their demographics, and saying, okay, and listening to them, right? So I think the pain points, right? You find the answers in the pain points and go from there. And asking simple questions as well, like not trying to dive in um, too quickly into a solution when you haven't really thought it through yet. Um, so that's definitely, those are my two sources for ideation, pretty much. And of course, competitive analysis, right? And AWS is doing their thing. They give a lot of food for thought, right? So looking at the competitors is definitely an integral part of the PM role as well. So defining the objective, guys. Oh wait, is there any other questions? Oh, I see someone here ask someone else.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can address that later on though. Like at the end, I want to make sure we do that. So don't overcomplicate and make reaching assumptions, and then also, be clear about and concise about the objective of your your product or feature, right? It's like, make sure you can even say it in one sentence. Okay, a user can do this when they use X feature of my hackathon project, right? This is what a user is able to do. Like, use simple can statements to basically describe like the main functionality of your feature, right? And easily to whoever you're presenting it to. And that'll help you stay aligned on like what you're really building and what you're not supposed to be building, and scope down the project. Sorry, next slide. So I kind of actually, I would like to skip the scenario because, and focus like for the sake of time, so I can focus more on the questions. Um, and like, that'll make more sense. And I'll like talk from there. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, actually, this here is important. Metrics should guide prioritization. Like, that's basically saying, like, you know, this is at the end of the day what my product should achieve, right? Like, this amount of clicks, this amount of usage. For a hackathon project, you won't really receive any usage until, you know, it's been released, or you guys actually release it later, right? But as a PM, right, you'd be when you're releasing products, you're supposed to be measuring, right? How do I know if my product is successful? And the way you know is, okay, well, obviously usage, but then over a period of time, what's the percentage of users that are actively using something? That's an important key metric. Is there abandonment, you know, after a few weeks? Like, it's about measuring, you know, each month, or like any set of time that applies to your feature, right? Like, are users actually using this? That's generally what what success metrics are. Next question. Sorry, next slide. Oh, that's a great question. I see there from Robin. What do you think separates a good PM and a great PM? What are some of the struggles you face as a PM? Well, I've only been a PM, right, for 8 weeks, but I've done like a lot. And this is why it's a good thing that you guys are talking to me now, right? Because like, if you're really interested, definitely reach out. But I've already have experience trying to release a new product. And I think what separates a good from a great is the communication, right? Someone who knows how to create clarity about a problem. Like, okay, why is the backend not delivering their APIs correctly? Or like, something's not going to be delivered on time, and things like that. Like, someone who can go in there and say, okay, well, what is the real issue here, and what can we achieve in the little time that we have then, right? Because what we're dealing with usually is time constraints and budget constraints, and someone who can make the best case for the user given these constraints, right? Because this is what happens often. Like, sometimes we don't get the best user experience because budget constraints and things like that. But that's not justified at the end of the day. Like, we can do better than that. So someone who can, despite all constraints, like, still make a difference, and make the user's voice be heard, and be the voice of reason, right? In every meeting with backend people, with programmers, with all the software devs, right? To be able to be that voice of authority and say, no, this experience is more important, and we can't ship this if it's going to not be a great user experience, and you can't accept less than that. So, and then how to balance multiple projects at once, and when is it too many meetings, and finding that balance, right, of not being too micromanaging, but also making sure all the stakeholders in a project know the progress of your feature, and like things like that, right? So that's basically what I've been dealing with, but we can go more into that later on. But yeah, There's different kinds of metrics, right? There's qualitative, which is just customer satisfaction reviews, like, hey, like they call you and say this product sucks. That feedback is always good, but you have to see how you take it as well, because there's some people, like, you have to also take into account where they're coming from. They only get usually you only get reviews. Oh, my Siri's talking to me. You only get reviews if people are mad or something's not working right. So it's taking that into account. Quantitative. Sure, oh, hold on. My Siri is popping off right now. Okay. Quantitative is, like just numbers, right? Like, how can we increase the current base usage of this feature? And then there's also the other quantitative here example we have of attracting new usage, either attracting new usage or increasing increasing the usage of an already existing feature. That's important to know. So next slide. Thank you guys for joining. Sorry, this thing here. Okay, cool. So definitely use metrics to prioritize like how you're gonna like scope your hackathon project, and any project you end up doing right later on as an intern or post grad. Use the little data that you have. Make sure like you use it to prioritize, and make data driven decisions. That's very important. You don't want to make decisions based on assumptions like, oh, I think X demographic of users do this when they use it, like Uber, or when they use a certain feature. Like, no, don't assume. Always try to do the due diligence of research. Right, in this little amount of time, you can't really do like user research and go out there and ask users, hey, like, how would you use my product, right? But the little that you could do is research, and that would go along, like, that would really make your product stand out, or project stand out, to whoever's gonna like judge your project, because then they'll know, okay, this person's making data driven decisions, and this will actually end up being a useful product for users. So that's really important. Next slide, please. Yeah, Siri trying to be a PM. Yeah, she's listening in on all of us. Apple's taking notes. So let me see. Why can't I can't see the screen? Emphasize. Yeah. So if you want, take notes. If you don't, it's fine. But if you're gonna pitch, make sure you just have a clear sentence of what your product does. Like, hey, this is our main objective of this product. These are the metrics that we use to understand, like, the customer feedback and show need. Tell a story through the user's eyes, right? Like, okay, as a user, I can do XYZ things when using your hackathon project, right? Use the can statements, user stories, because that will help judges paint a picture in their heads of like, okay, this is how ideally, in an ideal situation, and I know you're only presenting a minimum viable product, the MVP, but still you're trying to tell that story of, if everything was already built right, this is how ideally the product would work, and this is the functionality we have now, and this is what it could be, right? And you're selling them that idea. So that's important. And demonstrate the impact with metrics, right? The least you could do right now is show any little amount of research you've done, right? And say, this is why we've developed this. So yeah. Next slide. So yeah, just to recap, define the objective, define key success metrics, and then pitch your product. That's essentially at the heart of like what every product PM, what every product needs, right, to be successful. Next slide. So yeah. Oh, by the way, this is a great podcast that Sabina hosts. So if you want to learn more about like anything else that has to do with PMing or working for startups and how that would look like, definitely check this out. It's a great resource, and Sabina's awesome. This is not my podcast. That's really cool for me. But yeah, we'll get into it. I think that's the end of the presentation, though. Yeah, that's Sabina's. That's not my LinkedIn, but I'll link it down below for now. But yeah, discussion. You guys can unmute yourselves, and I can talk about more in depth about what I've been going through in Seattle alone, and PM in general, and my thoughts. Yeah. Great for grading at 2 a.m. Oh, I don't know what Danai's saying.
Don't worry about it.
Oh my God, Siri. Wow. Why are you listening? And okay, never mind. Any other questions? So I think, let me see. Is it better to try and be currently applying or to start as a developer or engineering? I'm interested in the analytics and data science. However, I find myself liking the bigger picture more than the development. Well, Jake, you're in the right place. The bigger picture is what product management is as a whole. What I've talked about is pretty much scratching at the surface of what the role is, but at least it's enough for the people who are interested in the big picture and not being so zoomed in on a project. This would be enough for you guys to go out there and like really start going and doing the research of like, you know what, maybe I might want to be a PM. And I think to start off, I also started off as a so I'll say this, right? Before I got into PM, I did 2 internships, one with Disney Plus and one with American Express. My one with Disney Plus was quality assurance. There, I learned that I don't want to do quality assurance, but I learned that I do have a passion for the user and figuring out, like, how can I fix this and who do I need to contact to fix this, right? And defining the problem. And so I learned that from that internship. And then for my American Express internship, I learned it was a software engineering internship. And I learned that I don't like engineering and coding, off the bat. But I loved planning out every single aspect of this website that I was building, this machine learning website that was this tool that I was building internally. And I loved collaborating with my team and helping my team figure out what resources do we need and what do we need to figure out iteratively to like release this product in only 6 weeks, because we only had 6 weeks to make a full website from scratch. And I was focused. I think I really liked the design part more than anything else, creating the Figma mocks and saying, this is what this page will look like and all these things. And from there, I decided, I think I should look into PM because, like you said, Jake, I like the big picture, and that's why I pursued PM. Specifically at Microsoft, there's so many products here to dive into that need our help, and yeah, I don't know, like if there's more questions, like I can continue like to dive into it. And yeah, you don't have to unmute yourself, but you can also ask in the chat. Or I can just keep talking about my experience in Seattle, I guess. So, are there PM internships? Okay, wait, hold on. I see here. Cracking the PM interview. Cop or drop? That is a cop. And I would not drop that. That is a cop. Definitely, and I can't find the book anywhere. I don't see it anywhere online. But let me make sure I link you guys with my tech page, Sam Fern Tech. Follow me on IG. And also, so if you guys have any more questions or need consulting, I am definitely there. And then look me up on LinkedIn. Let me see if I can look up myself. Samantha. But yeah, that's definitely a cop. if you're interested at all in starting PM in general, like now, like starting to look into it now. Hola. Give me 1 second. My grandpa just walked in. ¿Cómo está? Nos vemos ahorita, sí. Todo bien. Estoy hablando ahora. Sorry. Thank you, Danae. So everyone, yeah, go ahead, follow me on LinkedIn. We can do one-on-ones, 30-minute chats about more specific questions to help you out more specifically. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, yeah, my grandpa says hi, everyone. Yeah. So yeah, get that book as soon as possible. Start reading it, start absorbing it. You know, you think that just skimming over it might not be useful. Yes, it is. And to anyone who's already starting to doubt like that development might not be for them, I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to explore product management and see, hey, you know what, maybe this might be for me. And let's see, like, so definitely a good resource. Do you ever do UI UX designs as a PM? Yes, I do. I work with UI UX designers, which are fantastic, amazing, but I do UX UI designs of my own on Figma because I want to be able to visualize the problem for myself. Like, I write UI specs, which is everything written, all the requirements written in plain English, pretty much. Saying, okay, these are the requirements from the back end. This is what we need. This is like all the technical dependencies and things like that. So that's the nitty gritty, like, business, aspect of PM. But I do the mocks myself, so I can understand like the flow, the user flow. Like, okay, when the user clicks this button, then it leads to this, and then what happens, right? And how can I make that experience better? And what would be an ideal experience? And it helps me figure out edge cases, and then it helps me iterate on a project better. So definitely doing mocks of your own helps. But also letting the designer do their own thing is helpful, right? You just meet up with them and ideate with them. So yeah, I do my own. And are there PM internships? Yes, there is. They're really competitive though. I luckily managed to get in. I never did any PM experience beforehand. I just dove in 110,000% into the role and like into everything that it has to do with product management and like all the interview questions out there. My last semester of FIU, and was open to the opportunity of doing like the full-time PM interviews with Microsoft. Any of those opportunities I would be on the lookout for if you're deciding that like you're already a senior and you have transferable skills already, and if you've done internships you have it already. It's just a matter of how you present yourself to interviewers and on your resume. So yeah, that's pretty much oh, let me see. Reach limit. Let's see. What qualities would help a candidate's resume stand out for a PM role, especially transitioning from a non-PM role? Excellent question. So I will be honest, my resume was pretty tech oriented, right? And this all depends, but I think the best advice I could give is for anyone out there looking to apply anywhere cold, focus 100,000% on the company you're applying for. Like, what I did was I zeroed in on Microsoft alone. I didn't start applying to a bunch of other places. Like, maybe I did, but I only focused on how Microsoft ran their interviews, how Microsoft preferred their resumes, how Microsoft works in general. Like, I became basically obsessed with like how Microsoft runs as a company and all these things to understand how to get in, right? And that paid off because by focusing on just one company, like all your energy on one company, there's a lot of chance that you can get that first interview and that first like at least get a foot in the door, right? And oh well, the masters, and yeah, at least get that foot in the door. So definitely having projects is another big one. Like having these hackathon projects saying that you designed end to end this product and managed and led it. You had the oversight, things like that. Like definitely having projects already, like even if you develop them right, with a team or whatever, like everyone in that team kind of shared like a PM responsibility in that project, right? You guys didn't have an assigned product manager, but you guys were coming up with the ideas. You guys were drafting up the objectives of that project. You guys were doing all these transferable things that PMs do already. So it's a matter of presenting what you've already done in a PM way, right? My leadership experience was seen as like as PM transferable, right? With UB. So it's all a matter of repurposing what you already have to like use more, I guess, PM oriented wording. Let me answer this question. Will a master's in engineering management help? You know, I don't have a master's. I've only been in this job for 8 weeks. And I've also been trying to figure out myself if I'm going to need a master's. And honestly, I think you should only consider a master's if you want to make more money. Um, I think that's what I've seen so far. Those are my observations so far. That's my hypothesis. Um, like everyone that I've seen do it is because they want to get into the executive C-suite or of that sort, and um, really that's only if you really want to advance in your career. And I'm not saying you can do that without a master's, right? It's just I think it helps you get there faster because it shows managers that you have the business sense. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Thank you. And yeah, anything else? You guys have been asking wonderful questions. Like, you guys are going to be great PMs. You know, part of being to answer that earlier question, part of being a great PM is asking great questions, right? If you're constantly asking questions to create more clarity in situations in life, right? It could be anything. Like, that's definitely something that would make you stand out as a good PM. So asking the right questions is a really good aspect of being a great PM. Yeah. Is there any other questions? I can always meet up with you guys one-on-one. And I think, let me see. Yeah. If you guys have anything else, let me know. Because I know we're like already over time, but I mean, honestly, I can talk. I can stay here and talk to whoever wants to talk. If not, it's all good. But yeah, for those who think that they're not technical enough to be a PM or anything like that, that's not true. That's a myth. I could definitely, I can talk to you on the side about that. But I have friends that are trying to break into PM right now that are not technical that could easily break in, right? Like I have people who are political science majors that are breaking into PM because PM, that's the great thing about PM, right? That you could be from any background and bring in a lot of insight and different skills to the table, and different ways of solving a problem, right? And different ways of solving problems for users. So it's all valuable, and companies take that into account. Yeah, you can DM me on Insta. Yes, definitely. DM me on Insta, DM me on LinkedIn or Discord. I'm not sure. I don't know what my Discord ad is, but yeah. But yeah, let me see. So the PM does not roll. No, it does not. It depends. It depends. Sophia asked, so the PM role does not involve any coding at all. Like, it really depends, right? As long as when you're applying to places, you position yourself as someone who like, is more of someone who can design solutions more so than like code them, I guess. I think you'll be fine. Like, it really depends on the job application, really. But yeah, It looks like that's the end of everything. It was great talking to you guys. And yeah, have a great day. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know. Please give me feedback. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully you guys took something from this. Yeah. Yay! I'm glad it was insightful. I really hope it was insightful. I wanted it to. Oh look, hey Daniela. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Hello. Yeah, I was just waiting for everyone to. Oh well, gonna sign off now. Have a great day, everyone, and don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help you guys realize your dreams. And yeah, software development is not your only choice. It's not your only option. There's many other avenues, right? And PM is one of them. So you're in good hands. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye bye.